Today's downtown island is largely man-made. In 1931, the chapter of the Isaac Walton League conceived the idea of enlarging two small islands below the dam for use as a park. Permission was obtained from the State Division of Waterways and the War Department. Funds from the Federal Works Progress Administration paid for most of the labor. From 60 to 100 men, unemployed during the Depression, worked at various times on the project during the years of 1933 to 1937. Gravel from the river bed built up the surface and expanded it to the area roughly 4 acres on what was then designated Walton Island and 1 on North Island. They were joined by a timber bridge. Another footbridge linked North Island with the mainland on the east bank. A steel stairway provided access from the Chicago Street Bridge down to the river. Trees and grass were planted, bricks from Elgin which were laid to form pathways, and lagoons were stocked with goldfish from Lord's Park. A painted concrete American flag was placed on the north end. A visitor was impressed in the spring of 1938 when he visited the park. There were mothers with children who eagerly raced over the paths and back and forth on the bridges. There were elderly people quietly gazing out at the rushing river. Young people promenaded together. A few stretched themselves on the grass for a sunbath. Here and there, a fisherman tossed a line into the stream. After the Second World War, the island was neglected and vandalized. Nesting ducks were abused, underbrush and weeds spread. Vandals became a police problem after dark. The island was frequently submerged in times of high water. The park was closed in about 1951. In 1962, the island was rehabilitated and opened to the public, but was closed again 3 years later. The Larkin High School class of 1969 sparked a drive to clean up and reopen the park and raise funds for a bridge to connect it with the newly completed Civic Center. The bridge was an ecological experiment in recycling plastic to reduce weight without loss of strength. The floor consisted of chips from thousands of plastic bottles ground up by the students in the Plastic Technology program at Elgin Community College. The bridge collapsed on November 29, 1971, although the unique mixture of cement and plastic sand was not at fault and was rebuilt the following year. The island park is gradually disappearing and is much smaller in the area than when it was completed. The long neck stretching south to the Chicago Street Bridge has been reclaimed by the river. Strong currents caused by water rushing over the dam have steadily eaten away at the northern tip. The concrete flag monument was washed out by high waters in 1970. Heavy rains and snow melt have eroded the land around the bridges. When Walton Island was under construction, it was considered to be the first step toward the beautification of the river banks. The extension of the Fox River Trail, a biking and hiking pathway along the east shore in 1992, has renewed interest in the park's preservation. The name of North or Northerly Island was dropped in 1938, and Walton Island became the designation for both islands. Today, Walton's Island is visited by families daily. Being in the middle of a city has little effect on the park's peacefulness. With the river flowing and the wind blowing through the trees, Walton's Island has certainly become one of my favorite places. Although many years ago the island was much bigger in size, there's still plenty to enjoy at Elgin's Walton Island.